absolutely idiotic.
Idiotic.
So let's do this, Sky. You know I like to set things up. Sky, your initial thoughts when you heard the Dallas Cowboys were trading Micah Parsons, one from your hometown, one who you champion. I think we've all championed. We all think the world of him, but I'm gonna let you go first, Sky, because this is close to you. You know what I mean? And what were your initial thoughts, Skywalker Still?
I was shocked because, again, I just told you I was like the Packers. like, bro, I'm not gonna say I'm shocked that it was a trade because this thing has been going for a while. I've been talking to people behind us. This is not a shocker that a trade was being talked about, and then it started to get put out nationally that okay, there is some movement here in regards to conversations about a trade. So it wasn't like it was oh my god we traded Micah.
Right.
It was okay. What's the compensation?
Right.
And why the Packers for me? All jokes aside, those two things were kind of what resonated next because it really felt like, man, we talked about it the other day. This thing is not going to get resolved before week 1 from a contract standpoint. But then we find out they tried to resolve it before week 1 from a contract standpoint.
What?
But yes, there was initial like, oh. They actually did it, and then it went straight to, all right, what did we get, man? Please. Everybody talk about Herschel Walker. Let's hope we get a Herschel Walker. I don't think that's what happened,
right.
But they got something solid. But we'll talk about that, like I said.
Law Nation, somebody who I have. Hey, yo, somebody said we traded John Machota too. Comment of the day. John Machota has not been. Listen, that's the best podcast in the world. Skywalker Still, Law Nation. It ain't no. He's just busy. Obviously, he's gonna be busy for the next couple of days.
Right.
But Law Nation, somebody. And first of all, like I said, this is trying times. Cowboys fans are on edge right now.
Right.
I want to be the voice of reason, and these are two gentlemen that quite frankly, I call friends. I talk to Sty about life. So there's nobody more than I trust for their opinions. And so the reason why I want to let Sky have the floor. I want to let him talk through these things.
Right.
Law, you're somebody who I watched when you were in the car doing videos. And now look where you are. Real GOAT stuff. Law Nation, this is unprecedented, to say the least.
Right.
What was your like real talk? I don't have no script. I had a script. I texted y'all what we was gonna do today, Sky. That's all out the window.
We gonna talk about this Parsons.
Law, how do you not to cut you? How do you feel, Law? Like have you seen anything like this? You were a little older than us, so maybe you remember Herschel Walker. How do you feel, bro?
I mean, right now it's the alcohol on the wound because people always go back to the Herschel Walker thing, but you got to understand they had the coaching and staff intact too. This is a rookie coach out of Brian Schottenheimer, an unproven commodity in this particular space, and you want him to start off in a good foot. Back then, there was a whole different dynamic. Of course, the Cowboys were already losing. Herschel was basically the best player on the team, and of course, they had a little spark with my guy, Michael Irvin, but that's about it. So now that you got that particular situation to happen, this is not the same, ladies and gentlemen, because they had a planned action to do with those picks by trading and moving things around. But when I look at this situation with Micah Parsons now being traded to Green Bay Packers, who's been a thorn in our side, week 4, right? We play against them. Yeah. They got probably two of the best bookends on the edges. And where's our weakness at on his offensive line? Oops, Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele. So we better be figuring out things to figure out ways to say that it was one isolated situation that we couldn't stop the run. Well, we better be able to run the ball on Green Bay Packers if that's the case at Parsons. And on top of that, like you said, Sky and Foot, before we went live with everything, now they want to start on stopping the run. It's not like Parsons was here in 2018, if you know what I mean. We couldn't stop a nosebleed. And C.J. Anderson is still somewhere running now. So,
Law, do you want to get into that?
Yeah, let's get into that. Come on with it.
Because I thought that was very interesting that the basis of their presser was about stopping the run. Right,
that was interesting that he went that he like that was crazy.
The trade and their whole thing was hung on stopping the run, And did y'all all of a sudden just figure out that you needed help stopping the run? And don't lie to me and try to tell me that, you are super focused on that. Because if you were, why didn't you make moves in the offseason to do that? Why didn't you, or personnel wise, why didn't you go out and get run stopping defensive tackles that are proving it? Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden now? And if you're trying to sell to me that it's the defensive ends, that's all it is, that they're the ones that, are the responsible for the run stopping. Well, then damn, it must have been the same defensive ends for the last how many years long? 15, 20? I don't know how to call it. Yeah. So don't lie to me. You didn't do this because you wanted to stop the run. This is way more than that.
Yeah, it's extremely way more than that. It's a philosophical type of thing, man. It is crazy.
Yeah, if you really wanted to stop the run, like you said, it'd been about a philosophy to do so. You didn't want to stop the run when you have 8 different defensive coordinators in 10 years. It doesn't work that way, bro. You need to settle in on a philosophy and build around that, not snip, snap, snip, snap.
And here's another thing that I want to throw at it. And I know people are going to argue and fight me and beat me up with this particular thing in the chat, but do a video about it then, because here's the thing. We were closer.
Jumping into our world.
Yeah, jumping into our world. We were closer to Micah Parsons. If y'all understood what I'm about to say, Aaron Donald was considered one of the most pressured, fierce guys in the National Football League. And it took damn near the Avengers to help him win a Super Bowl, right? So what I'm getting at, they had Jalen Ramsey. They went and got Leonard Floyd. They had Ashawn Robinson. They went and got Sue. They had got all of those pieces. All I was asking for the Cowboys to do with Parsons, pay him his change, pay him his money, but use next year's first to go get you a big plug inside. We would have been closer to that version opposed to getting rid of Parsons, right?
Yeah, you can get help with him.
Yeah. With him,
We finally got the defensive tackle, right?
We had Mozzie.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Scott? You talk about that penetrating, get up field, but stop the run D tackle. I like Kenny Clark, but that's not. People don't want to hear that right now. So, but
no, I mean,
right.
What you mean? No. Whenever we get to the compensation, that's that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
We gotta talk about.
Yeah. But no, I just mentioned it. So. I'm taking a deep breath with this one still. Mm-hmm. I was confused. You know what I mean? I never thought it would get to this point. But like you said, we talked to people and things were coming out and I push back. But it happened, right, still. And I want to make this clear, bro. Micah Parsons is a top 10 player in the NFL and will be such probably for the next 4 years. So even me, Mr. Optimism, Mr. Positive, it sucks, bro. Like, that's what I got for y'all. Talking to law. It sucks. It just sucks, bro. Like,
first, can I jump in and say this one thing? Because I'm so tired of this stat line that everybody keep pointing out. One sack in 4 playoff games. Well, Myles Garrett got 1 sack in 3 playoff games. And TJ Watt, his resume ain't that great too in playoff games.
He got one as well.
Yeah, he got one as well. Great. So what are we saying here? Like, these guys, TJ Watt, there should be some breaking news that he's getting traded. There should be some breaking news, even though Nick Bosa is by far one of the better edge rushers in the National Football League. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He ain't that damn good on stopping the run. He's not.
I
agree with you. I think it's a silly narrative. I mean, if that's the case, Cleveland and said Pittsburgh should get rid of Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. If it's
you can't stop the run.